So I guess without going into great detail in terms of, I guess, what you've suffered or what you've been through in terms of your childhood and right into your teens, consisting, from what I've read, just a gauntlet of abuses of almost every kind. Can you give us, I guess, an idea of what life was like, perhaps, for you growing up, and what, maybe you can, if you can speak of your safety nets or how you, I guess, dealt with that?
Well, where do I start? Yeah, there was, I've been through basically everything you can imagine, and, came aboard it and survived it, basically. And at a very young age, my parents divorced. While they were married, we lived with my grandmother, and she had a basement apartment, so we lived there. But they did divorce when I was a very young age, and then it was basically a custody battle, and then it was back and forth to whoever had visiting rights that weekend. It was basically joint custody. My mother, she was an alcoholic, and when it was time for her to take us under her care for the weekend, it was just a nightmare. So there's things in, as far as my childhood goes, that I try not to remember, but I carry them with me, and that helps me help other people through what they're surviving. Like, there's a lot of people that have been abused as children, and they grow up, and it's funny how some people will follow in the path of their mother or father. Like, if they were abused, they'll abuse their children as well.
It's a cycle of violence.
Absolutely. And it's funny how, ironic how I went the other way. My safety net was my grandmother. She was basically my compass in life. She was my mentor. And I went to her for everything. And she basically watched over me and made sure I was safe and guided me through all the hard times. And there was many questions along the way, because I remember that my abuse started very early on, when I was a baby. So you're not going to remember that, but I remember from potty training on. So it was that.
You can remember that far back?
I can remember that far back. It started there. But there was emotions that I would go through. There was things that would bother me, and I'd become uptight about things, and I wouldn't understand where the feelings were coming from. And of course, my main source was my grandmother. And I one day spoke to her, and I said, "Why am I feeling all these, emotions, and what's?" And she sat down with me, and she goes, "I have to tell you a story." And she went through right from birth on, where there was even a point in my life where she tried to get custody of me and adopt me as a child, but both my parents were alive, so that was unable to be done. But it was that bad. So and it just it went on. I had very unstable homesteads, basically. My father remarried, and it was just very unstable. And if I wasn't running away, I was staying with family members, going to school, and then coming back home when I was, let back in the house. And basically it was just, and it was never kicked out because it was something I did wrong. It was because the family was so dysfunctional that I just wanted to get away and move forward. And my grandmother was always there for me if I needed a place to go or stay. So basically that was my childhood growing up.
Oh, thank goodness for grandmothers.
Thank goodness.
So I guess your grandmother must be aware that this book is coming out, and
well, we lost her back in 2008, but she was aware of this book. She knew about the project, and she knew about all the people that were involved, and that was amazing to me. She was like, wow. And I remember back in 2008, she died December 3rd, and we had been speaking on the phone like we did daily, and it was 3, 4, 5 hours at a time, and sometimes I call her 3 or 4 times a day. That we were just so close, and it was the point where if I didn't call her, she thought something was wrong. So she was like my mom, and I remember telling her, I can't wait to come over Christmas. I'm going to show you this book I'm doing and this project I'm doing, and I never did get to show her, but she knew about it, and I believe she's watching over me through this. So yeah.
She sounds like an amazing woman.
She was very amazing.
That's definitely lucky. So I guess I've been informed that you've gotten married after high school, and
yes,
I guess currently happily married with your children. How old are your children again?
16 and 18.
Oh, so they're almost
They're all
getting
grown
out
up and
there.
taller than me, yeah.
Excellent.
Yeah.
And I guess in short order, you're unable to work right now. Maybe can you tell us about, I guess, how you came to be in this position, or?
I am working right now,
Okay.
but I'm unable to do anything physical.
Okay.
Because of my last injury,
Mhm.
I basically taught myself how to walk again, but the injury I have is still there. It's in
What
my.
is the injury?
I had hurt my leg while working,
Mm-hmm.
and I was given the wrong surgery for it.
Okay.
And so before that, the injury's still there in the body, and I've never been fixed properly.
Yeah.
So it took me about 2.5 years to train myself how to. I'm a very determined person, and I'm very strong-willed because of my grandmother, instilled that in me, and my father. He would always say to me, you know, I'd go to him and say, Dad, I can't do this, and he'd say, what do you mean you can't do it? Of course you can. And his words were so powerful to me. Every time that I would face something, I would hear him say, of course you can do this, Julie, come on, what are you thinking, you can do it. And I would end up doing it. And so with that, with his voice and with my grandmother's knowledge and her encouragement and all the amazing stuff that she instilled in me, I am who I am today. And I wasn't going to let that beat me down. And she said to me, I remember before she died, she said, you can either stay the way you are or you can die this way. And I thought, wow, that's pretty powerful. And I thought, I can't even walk. How am I supposed to get going? I was given a cane. I was given 3 medical belts to keep my leg in place, and handicap cards for my vehicle. And I was permanently disabled, classified that, and I thought to myself, I wasn't born this way, and I didn't sign up for this. And I did all I could to move forward. I have a family. I'm a mom. I'm a wife, and I was going to do the best I could for my family. So it took me about 2.5 years, like I had mentioned, and I would do it by using crutches, basically chairs, walls, tables, whatever was in my way. And with that, I painfully taught myself how to stand upright, and I can only walk on the outside of my foot. I can't walk heel toe. When I stand up, I don't put full pressure on my leg. It's just you're in survival mode basically, and you kind of train your body how to live with something that's injured, because you know you have to move forward. And basically that's
Wow.
yeah. And now I'm writing a book about it. And that's where my book. That's where my passion was all the inspiration I felt inside, and all the things, all the emotions I was feeling inside, reaching out to help other people. That was my mission. Through all their grueling, events in their lives, and knowing and letting them know they're not alone. And like I say, everybody has a story. It doesn't matter who you are. You always, or someone that has something going on. And I always said I could walk in a room of 50 people, and I could walk out with 50 different stories. So it's just, it's just like a chain reaction kind of thing. And I was bound and determined to get myself walking again, the best to my ability, and hoping at some point that somebody, a miracle would happen, and someone would come along and help fix the injury that was not fixed in the long run. But other than that, I'm here. So
Yes, you are, and you're walking, so that's an accomplishment in itself.
yeah.
Excellent. I guess back to your book, it's definitely, you've mentioned it's being fueled by a tremendous amount of support and interest, not just from various people, but even from actors and I guess celebrity figures as well. And
Yes.
and I guess you're continuing to receive, but I guess you were getting help with putting together the book, or how, I guess, can you tell me how it's all come to be, or what's happened in terms of how it's getting published and the people that...
Well, I was just blessed by an amazing connection.
Yeah.
Jim Lavoie, and he's brought me. It's been a true blessing to where I am right now. For him, if it wasn't for him, I wouldn't be where I am right now.
Yeah.
He heard my story and was wowed by it and saw what I was doing. And Joe Blaze is the publisher, and so we're just I mean, the book's almost ready for print,
Yeah.
and we're just collaborating, getting all the pictures ready, and getting this project to get ready to be put out into the world, and hopefully inspire many people.
Excellent. And I guess with the book clearly on the horizon, I understand you suffered another blow this time around Christmas time, and regarding your husband Vince. I understand he underwent gallbladder surgery.
Yes.
And he's been diagnosed with cancer. Is that correct?
Yes, that's correct.
Okay. I guess how do you cope with? It seems like if it's not one thing, there's another thing that keeps coming your way, and
You think you have headway.
yeah. What I guess what drives you? What sustains you through this?
It's just the power to keep going.
Mm-hmm.
That was devastating news, and we had just bought in a house, and the book was getting ready to be launched,
Mm-hmm.
and go to print, and all these amazing things were happening. And even though my journey continues, and my struggle continues
Yeah.
with the obstacles that I face. Of course, that news came about on December 28th. We got a
Mm-hmm.
phone call after his surgery, and we both just broke right down. And it was, and of course, I'm only human. I'm afraid, and and worried about what the outcome is going to be. But I know he's strong. He's been there for me right from the beginning of my journey. He's held me up. He's been my biggest cheerleader. He's my biggest cheerleader, and through all this, and he's given me amazing strength.
Mm-hmm.
Just I don't know. I really I just have to look within myself and see how far I've come with all the obstacles that I've had to face. And I just keep that inner strength, and like I say, he tells me it's going to be okay, we're going to be fine, and with that he has such a positive attitude, and I always say, you're my hero, really, because you're incredible. I mean, to be told that you have cancer, and to have the attitude he does, it just inspires me even more. My voice becomes louder, meaning, as far as my journey continues and the mission that I'm on, my voice becomes louder to tell the world that now everything has hit our home, and I'm ready to make a difference.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you've already made quite a lot of difference already, and I'm excited to see the book come out, and I think from what I've observed through all the struggles that you've gone through, it seems attitude seems to be the biggest thing, as long as you have that positive attitude.
Yes, that's very important.
So, yeah.
Very important.
And you are clearly a champion for many survivors, and I'm very, very happy to meet you.